Good evening, students. This is PTG ma'am, and this particular video is specially on the request of some students who wanted to know that what could be asked in a Viva for the project topic business plan. So here I will try to give you a few model questions. Obviously, what will be asked to you entirely depends on who is your external examiner, but we can always give you a few sample questions based on our experiences and what we have been asking or what we have heard others asking in Viva. So hopefully this video will be of use to you. My suggestion is do not skip the video and watch it till the end, because at each stage I will be discussing few of the questions, and obviously if you find this interesting or useful, then please share it with your friends so that they could also benefit from it. Okay, so now when we talk about this project, that is business plan, what is this actually about? What are you supposed to do when this topic business plan is coming? It is as if you have to show that you have started or you are thinking of starting your own business, and therefore you are thinking of launching a product or a service. Okay, so it could be a business plan on a product, it could also be a businessman on some services. So, accordingly, your questions will also change. Now, when it comes to business plan, there are two different, from two different angles, you can be asked question. One is what covers your syllabus, that is from the textbook. So I'm sure you people are following your CBSE textbook and you actually don't have to follow any other reference book. Your textbook is pretty good. So in your textbook, chapter 2 deals with business planning. So in chapter 2 textbook, whatever is given about a business plan, anything from that area could be asked. Like simplest of question is what is a business plan? Why is a business plan also called a route map or a roadmap? Or why is a business plan called the blueprint for a business? Basic questions. Okay. It could also be, do you think a business plan is important? If yes, why? If you feel it's not important, then justify your answer. It could also be that business plan is important. Is it compulsory? Is it compulsory for any business unit to prepare the business plan? The external can ask you this also. It could also be that if you're saying that the preparation of business plan is not compulsory, then why is it that most of the organizations and most of entrepreneurs are still trying to develop a business plan? Okay. It could also be business plan takes up a lot of your time, energy, effort, and even money. Then why is it that we prepare a business plan? These are all from the textbook, I'm telling you. Okay, based on your project is something I'm coming later. Next, what could be asked, what are the different formats of business plan? Okay, what is the purpose of each of those formats? Are they all serving the same purpose? If not, then how do you differentiate? If you have to present your business idea to investor, then which business plan would you make? If you have to present it to somebody else, then how would you draft it? What are the names? Okay, the different formats. Another question which can also come related to the textbook is, what are the components of business plan? You have different components, you know the names, right? So anything from those components can be asked. Very common component is the production part, and please do remember there are three different options available under that, manufacturing, partial manufacturing, no manufacturing, so that one. So they could relate it to your project also, that which phase are you in? Is it no manufacturing, partial manufacturing, complete manufacturing? That part. Another important component from business plan part is the financial plan, and it will cover the BEP part also. Okay, because in your project you should actually show your BEP outputs. So your BEP analysis should also be there in your business plan. Um, Now, these are what, oh, there could be one more question, which is do you think a business plan and feasibility study are the same? If not, then how do you differentiate between these two? Okay. And why do we have to prepare a feasibility study also? Why do we go for feasibility study? And why do we make a business plan also? So these are questions which can be asked from your textbook. So please go through the textbook very well. If there are any other question coming to my mind, I'll keep on adding it in the comment section. Right now, whatever is coming to my mind, I'm just telling you all those. Okay. Now, right now, I will next. What I will do is now I will come to your project. Based on the project file, what could be the possible questions that I'll ask? I'll discuss. Right. Okay, so now let's come to your project specifically. Okay, so you're presenting your file to your external, the external goes through it, and suppose the external thinks of asking question based only on your project file. Technically, this is how it should go. Externals will usually ask you questions from the project file that you have made. Why it is done? To see whether your project file is authentic or not, whether you know what you have actually written there, whether you have understood the project well. So the first thing or the first question, and very very simple, that is how we set the tone usually, is uh, what is your project topic? Okay, so project topic is your business plan. So you have done your business plan on what? So then you say a particular product or a service name, whatever is your topic, whatever you have chosen. Okay. Then the question comes is, why did you choose this? See, choosing the business plan is compulsory because that is one part of your project. You have two projects in EP, right? One entrepreneurship, one is a market survey, the second one is business plan. So it's compulsory. No option is given to you. But in business plan, what you are choosing is up to you. Whether you're choosing a product, whether you're choosing a service, whether it's a chocolate, which is very common, whether it's ice cream, whether it's shoes, which is also equally common, okay, or whether it's noodles, which is also, I find many students doing it, taking it up. So whatever you have chosen, or flower business, why did you choose that? So why did you select that particular topic? That is a very common question. Then we come to next, you will see when you prepare your file, then you give a name to your business. Okay, so there comes brand name, there comes logo, there comes tagline. So any questions can be asked from these also. What is a brand name? What is a brand mark? How do you differentiate between a brand name and a brand mark, or a brand name and a logo? Okay, what is a tagline? And please be careful that you at least know what you have given as your tagline. Sometimes what happens, students write a tagline, maybe they have taken the help of the net or something, and then they don't remember it. So that's not good. You should know what you have written in your project file. So if you have given a tagline, make sure you remember it. And the tagline, what is the purpose? Is tagline compulsory? Then if it's not compulsory, why is it that we go for a tagline? Okay, and why is it we try to put a brand name as well as a logo or a brand mark? What's the importance of these things? So these can be asked. Second, you will see you keep on writing about your competitors. Usually we give 5 competitors name. So you must have mentioned 5 competitors name, and you must have also given the USP of your competitors. So when it comes to USP, we will have to know the full form of USP, unique selling proposition, and not unique selling point. Many students say USP is unique selling point, so it's not that. So please be careful about the full form of USP. And then you talk about the USP of your different competitors. Okay, it could also be USP of your product. So that is another very common question. After that, there can be questions on your price, cost, and profit. You must have determined the cost for your product. So, how did you determine the cost? Okay, or what is the difference between variable cost and fixed cost? Or what is startup cost? So, these things you should know. when we are talking about pricing, then though this pricing thing, no, you have it in not in your BST, you have it in your EP only. So, what are the different pricing strategies? Okay, whether it's cost plus pricing, whether it's skimming pricing, penetration pricing policy, or variable pricing method, whatever you have applied, you should be able to say that this is the pricing strategy I'm trying to follow and why. Please be, you know, take this thing very seriously, that whenever you're writing something, that this is my packaging, or I will choose this packaging, or I will go for this kind of transportation, or particular this kind of channels of distribution, it should also come with why. That justification should be there. Okay, so if you have gone for penetration pricing policy, why? If you have gone for scheming pricing policy, why? So I was discussing about pricing. So obviously, whatever pricing strategy you are choosing, so the question, the answer that should be there in your mind is which pricing strategy and why. Okay, so that should be there. Apart from it, when we talk about two very common questions, are one relates to your packaging, the other one relates to your labeling. Okay, now when you are drafting that label, um, question can be asked, what is a label, what is labeling, importance of labeling. This is a direct question. Okay, it could also be, why is labeling called a carrier of not carrier, sorry, carrier of information, right? So why is a label, okay, why is a label called the carrier of information? Because it carries a lot of information. Simple. Because your label, you're showing everything on it, price, ingredients, MRP, this, that, so it carries a lot of information, so that's the reason it's called a carrier of information. This question is very common. And another very common question is, why is packaging called a silent salesman? Okay, because the more attractive your packaging is, you will be able to attract more customers towards it. Just what a salesman is supposed to do, induce people to buy the product. Okay, so packaging silently will do that. So it will make itself so attractive that customers or potential customers will get attracted to it and think of purchasing it. So these two are very common question. Apart from it, you have the different levels of packaging, that is primary, tertiary, secondary. Rather, if we put it in a proper order, then it's primary, secondary, and tertiary. So depending on this, what are the different levels of packaging you have used and how? Okay, so whatever material you're using, what purpose is it serving? Obviously, the importance of packaging, importance of labeling is always there. Next, you have again the BEP part, as I was telling you, should be there. So if you have done it in a proper manner, then you should have, come to some of your BEP unit. So how have you drafted that BEP? What is the formula? What is the significance of BEP analysis? All these questions can be asked. Apart from it, what else can be asked? Profit, expected profit. Okay, so profit, how are you calculating your profit? Then what are the risks associated with your business? Every business will have some risk associated with it. So what are, but they will differ from, business to business, from product type to another product. So depending on that, what do you think are the risks associated with your business? Just look at her. Okay, so anyway, she's interested in knowing what I'm telling you all. So she's watching me and watching you all as well. So say a hi to her, she will feel good. So whatever, so these things, these are actually very common questions that can be asked, and there can be some other questions also. Right now it's not coming to my mind, but as I said, if it comes to my mind, then I will keep on adding the questions in the comment section. So if you're watching the video, then go through the comment section also once. If you find me adding some more questions to it, or even you can add some questions. Okay, so if you feel that there are other questions which can be asked, you can also put it in the comment section. Just keep in mind that there is nothing to worry about your external exam or your practical exam, but it is that you should be well prepared. You should be smart enough to handle and tackle the questions. A teacher is not there to, make you feel uncomfortable or to make you feel nervous or shy or afraid, nothing like that. But it is what shows, it is your project which will show that how you have done throughout your year. And I'm sure you love your teachers a lot. So think about them, because when you are answering, the external has an idea about how your internal teacher has been throughout the year also. So I'm sure your teachers are also expecting a lot from you. So go through the chapter well and go through your file well. Okay, you should know the file. If you know your file well, then I don't think there can be any problems. So just be confident. There is nothing, you shouldn't be getting nervous about it, and nothing to be afraid of.